Casino and hotel group Sun International says it's poised for growth. This as it released its full-year financial results ended December 2021. The company saw income from continuing operations increasing by 29%, while reporting that adjusted headline earnings improved to 110 million rand. That's up more than 100%. It noted that its casino business, which accounts for about 80% of group revenue, showed a significant recovery following the easing of COVID-19 lockdown restrictions, with income there rising by 22%. At its resorts and hotels, it saw income rise by 39%. Well, to take us behind the numbers, I'm joined by Anthony Leeming. He's the CEO at Sun International. Thanks very much, Anthony, for joining us. How would you characterize the year under review in the various businesses that you run after that awful year that was 2020?
Yeah, look, good afternoon, firstly. I think 2021, obviously, was not a great year from the restrictions, but we can certainly see the recoveries come through quite strongly, and particularly in our cash flow. So we've said we've done a lot to sort of make the business more efficient, and I think we're in a better position than we were before. We really operating at high standard, guest satisfaction's up, and I think the cash flow has shown that we're doing well. Gaming has recovered a lot stronger than the hotels and resort side, which obviously was hit the hardest in 2020, and then in 2021, we can see the gaming coming back quite nicely, in particular LPM business, as well as the casinos.
So you emphasize a lot on efficiencies and eliminating unnecessary costs. Where were you able to extract these goals?
Look, a little bit all over the place. I think when you review all your contracts and you've got the time to do so, you really dig deep and look at what you're doing. So whether it be communication costs, maintenance, repairs, and really getting stuck into the areas that where I think money was maybe being wasted a bit, we weren't as efficient, as well as some labour cuts we did make in 2020. And that was a result of certain overstaffed in certain places. We need to replace that staff. We have a more flexible wage force now, or employees at Sun City in particular, with the conferencing side of things. So we're more flexible, we're more adaptable, and we certainly are looking to, these costs are embedded and saved. So I think the margin can only improve going forward.
So I see that you managed to whittle down your debt levels in the period. Going forward, what sort of debt levels would you be comfortable with?
Look, we're looking to get our debt to EBITDA, below 2 times. I think with the way trading is going at the moment, that should happen pretty quickly. So even if debt remained where it is, by the end of this year, I'd like to believe it will be below 2 times. Having said that, there's no doubt we're going to generate more than enough cash flow to keep reducing debt. And in the absence of resuming dividend payments, investment opportunities, we certainly believe debt will keep going down to well below 2 times debt to EBITDA.
So you've reported a relatively strong performance in the year under review, but of course you're coming from quite a low base. What will it take for you to get to the pre-COVID levels in terms of your numbers and profitability?
I think when you look at, we've indicated January and February, our gaming business was in line with 2019. So having looked at that, and our cash flow is actually above 2019. So those costs have saved and flowed through to the bottom line. So profitability is going to come to a lot stronger than our revenue recovery. What is important over the hospitality side is obviously the corporate business, meeting business, that is still been a little bit slow to come back, and also obviously foreign tourists. Having said that, there's been a lot more inquiries for conferencing. Sun City is getting busier from a conference point of view, and that's really bodes well. I think what's quite exciting is our online business is showing really good growth for the last few years, and we believe there's great potential for it, and particularly with the licensing of live games. And I think there's no doubt the gaming boards are pushing for licensing online casinos, which we're very optimistic about. We think of the right brand and the right place to take advantage.
Yeah, you touched on a couple of issues, but what's the outlook for the balance of this year? And do you see international travellers coming in their droves despite the pandemic still being with us?
I think when we saw in December, we had a number of cancellations. We were looking quite good from a foreign tourist perspective for January, February, March. And when Omicron hits, it really came off. I think foreign tourists are looking to get out and looking to travel. So I've no doubt the new season, as long as COVID doesn't get worse than it is now, people wouldn't be too worried about traveling with COVID. Obviously, we'd like the government to lift the restrictions that are currently in place, particularly the PCR tests and some of the other restrictions that we are currently living under. But overall, I've no doubt foreign tourists will come back. Maybe it'll take a little longer to in their droves, but certainly enough to keep our business going and actually getting back to pre-COVID levels.
Yeah, well, all the very best with that. Thanks very much, Anthony, for your time and your insights there. Anthony Leeming, he's the CEO at Sun International.